Have you noticed how some events in politics don't stay in politics? They jump into oil prices, shipping costs, and market confidence. They become the daily problems business owners have to solve with much less room for error, because that is the real issue here. It's not about whether a single operation was a success. The deeper question is, what happens to the world when the biggest player proves it can move fast, hit hard, and then pretend the consequences belong to someone else? Let me ask you two straight questions. If America starts solving problems with faster, harder force, does the world become calmer? Or does every other serious player start adjusting their own game to match?
And if you are a founder in Singapore or Malaysia, are you still thinking of war and sanctions as faraway issues? Or have you realized that one decision in Caracas or the Red Sea can end up inside your cost structure before the week is over? Section 1, the new operating model. To understand 2026, you have to forget the old rules. The new thinking is simple. America was spread too thin, like a business with too many unprofitable branches. The cure? A radical change in strategy. Think of it like this. Instead of being the world's friendly neighborhood policeman, always on patrol, the new model is to be more like a special forces team. You don't walk the beat. You identify a specific problem, use overwhelming force to solve it, and then you leave. Fast. This new doctrine rests on three very simple. First, take care of your own backyard. The Western Hemisphere is now the priority. It's like focusing on your home market before trying to expand globally. Threats from migration, trafficking, and foreign influence nearby are now seen as more urgent than problems in faraway places. Second, friendship comes with an invoice. Allies are no longer just partners, they're clients who need to pay for their own protection. The push for NATO members to spend more is part of this. The goal is to free up American resources to focus on its own interests. And third, when you must act, act with crushing force for a very narrow goal. No more nation building. Just go in, remove the direct threat, and get out. The vision was clear. A leaner, more focused America. Not a global manager, but a powerful enforcer that only steps in when its own bottom line is affected. It was a promise to end endless wars by winning them fast and hard. But the events of 2026 are showing what that promise really costs. Section 2. The reality on the ground. Venezuela was meant to be the perfect demonstration of this new doctrine. On a tactical level, it was. After building up forces, a swift operation on January 3rd, 2026, removed Nicolas Maduro from power. He was put on a plane to face charges, a clean, decisive military win. But here is where the simple idea gets complicated. It's one thing to remove a piece from the board. It's another thing to control the game that follows. The operation left a power vacuum. A vacuum is never empty. It fills with chaos. So while the military part was easy, the US now finds itself managing a fragile transition and overseeing access to Venezuela's oil. The swift intervention has become a managed entanglement. It proves a powerful lesson. You can strike a problem, but you cannot avoid inheriting the environment around that problem. If this kind of discussion helps you connect geopolitics to business reality, click like and subscribe to the channel. We go beyond the headlines to show you what they really mean for you. The second test is in the Middle East, and the results are even uglier. After strikes against Iran's nuclear sites in 2025 and early 2026, the administration could claim another direct threat was neutralized. Another quick win. But force has timing effects. It doesn't just suppress, it redistributes. The strikes didn't end Iran's nuclear ambition. They may have just created a stronger political will to get a bomb. The result is a new cycle of threats, risking a bigger war that pulls the US right back in. The entire region is now living at a hotter temperature, with attacks in the Red Sea and clashes with Hezbollah keeping everyone on edge. Instead of getting out, the US is now deeper in, tied by new security deals with Gulf partners. The doctrine of decisive force created a moment of quiet, but it didn't solve any of the real problems. It was like putting out a small fire with gasoline. The immediate flame is gone, but now the whole area is soaked and ready to ignite. So what happens when this new doctrine hits the real world? It doesn't create stability. It reshapes the global business environment in three dangerous ways. First, it erodes trust. The transactional, pay-up approach makes every ally nervous. When relationships start sounding like invoices, everyone begins hedging their bets. European powers are building up their own militaries, preparing for a future where they can't count on America. A more divided world isn't just more dangerous, it's more costly to operate in. Fragmentation creates inefficiency and risk. Second, it accidentally gives a green light to rivals. The intense US focus on its own hemisphere sends a clear signal. The world is being carved up into spheres of influence. It's like saying, I'm only mowing my lawn, so you can do whatever you want on yours. This emboldens powers like Russia and China to enforce their will in their own backyards, creating a more competitive and unpredictable world for business. Finally, and most importantly, it creates the illusion of peace while planting the seeds of future conflict. A captured leader or a destroyed facility looks like a win, but these are fragile victories. Using force creates a power vacuum, and that vacuum is often more chaotic than the original problem. This pulls America right back in to manage the very crisis it helped create, leading to repeated shocks instead of long-term calm. The new strategy was designed to get America out of entanglements, but it has led to new, deeper ones. It was designed for decisive wins, but it has produced fragile truces and simmering conflicts. The approach has proven America is still powerful, but it has failed to make America or the world more secure. And for founders in Singapore and Malaysia, this matters. Why? Because the operating rhythm of danger has accelerated. A conflict doesn't need to be global to be expensive. It only needs to hit the right nerve in the shipping, energy, or financial system. The space between a military action and a business consequence is now smaller. This changes everything. It changes how allies calculate risk. It changes how rivals test boundaries. And it changes how quickly a distant headline becomes your problem. The real change is not that the world became dangerous. The world was always dangerous. The real change is that disruption is now structurally normal. And in that world, liquidity matters more, supplier clarity matters more, and your ability to read the consequences of these shifts matters much more than you think. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more analysis that connects global strategy to your business reality, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching.